Welcome. I hope you are doing well. Courtney Rollins, the Life and Transitions Experts host and owner of State Pro Service, where I help people, or we help people who are deal with the property and the stuff when it comes to big transitions in their life, particularly when there's probate involved and people need support or want support figuring out the probate process. And today, this is Wednesday that I'm recording this. This is live, but this is our Wednesday probate overview. Every Wednesday, I'm reviewing the steps for probate specific in North Carolina. I call myself the Durham County, North Carolina probate expert, not because I assume that I know everything about probate, but because I am dedicated to the process, growing, spending as much time as I can in these situations and helping people through probate so that I can transfer the experiences to you. I am not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not offering legal advice or financial advice on here. I am, again, sharing my opinions with you, and hopefully you find this helpful. If you have any questions specific, this is live. Feel free to drop them in to, I hope I can see them here. I'm on StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. No affiliation is just awesome. It allows me to stream on my YouTube channel as well as on the Facebook channel and stream directly on my Facebook page. So I have three different spaces that I am located. And if you have a question or a comment or anything specifically you want to go over, please let me know, or you can just email me immediately, or email me, Courtney@estateproservice.com. If you want to sign up for a free sit-down conversation consultation or just conversation, then you can go to estateproservice.com and sign up for a time for us to meet and speak with. I just actually finished speaking to someone who's going through a challenging situation with an estate that hasn't gone through probate yet. It will have to go through probate, but it's just really, really tough what's happening, and hopefully we'll be able to point her in the right direction and help her clarify some things. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and get to it. I'll share my scrizzy as I do at this time. Well, let me go to the top. Let's start from the beginning. That's always a good place to start, right? I guess I have to share the screen legitimately over here. All right, presents arms. Present arms. All right, and now I go over to my Canva. That's treating me so well. I need to get an affiliation with Canva. I'll tell you that much. As much as I use them, I'm actually planning my wedding now with obviously with my fiance, and I think we might go to Canva for a couple of things. At any rate, this is the probate workshop for North Carolina. Now, probate is, well, just so I'm down at the probate clerk's office every almost at least 2 or 3 times a week. At the beginning it was every day, but now it's 2 or 3 times a week. Spending a lot of time looking through files and finding people to support. Here's actually Swanita, shout out. She just got promoted far left. She's now the assistant deputy clerk, along with Ashley, who was right beside her on the right. She's awesome. And then we have some deputy clerks there, or assistant to the clerks is Swanita and Ashley. Then there's deputy clerks are there, Nick and Victoria. Then you got Lamardo and Miss Janice and several other folks that are there in the office. But they're awesome. They're helpful. They're great. They want to serve. They want to give. And there's a challenge, however, because although I'm not an attorney or a financial advisor giving those advice, they really have their hands a little tied as far as not even be able to give any opinion or direction to the folks coming in because of just how North Carolina laws are set up. But they want to help so bad. So I'm really appreciative of them spreading the word that we're trying to do it at Estate Pro Service as well. And I feel like we're part of the extension of the team, although this is not affiliated, it's not affiliation with the clerk's office. But if you go in there, you do see my sign and my work for the workshop up there, because I think they know that we're both here to help the people out there. So probate, the legal process of settling the affairs in the estate of a deceased person. If you pass away or if someone passes away with assets or debt in their name, there has to be a legal process because that person is not alive anymore or doesn't have legal representation to, like power of attorney. if that person was alive and they had someone power of attorney, either health or financial, then yes, that power of attorney can work and or could make decisions for that person. But when that person passed away, power of attorney also dissolves because the person's no longer alive, and now it's the estate. And someone has to be able to legally address administer the estate. I got a little flustered a little bit here because I thought I changed these steps right here. The steps to probate. You're going to open up probate. Oh, okay, I got it. I thought I put it number 1, 2, 3. Anyways, regardless, you're going to open up probate, and really the steps, the 2, 3, and 4 bullets are happening in a particular order. You open up probate, you'll notify creditors, as well as begin to take an inventory that will need to be submitted. We're going to go over these in a few seconds, moments, and then once you start settling the debts and taxes and distributing, inheriting, that's the accounting phase. You'll have to account for all that and close the estate. So I thought I updated that, and a little matter of fact, I'm going to find that here. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment because I want to make sure. Oops, I thought I stopped sharing. That you all have the proper information, and I worked too hard for this not to be in the right space. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was all the way down there. I knew it. Let's see. Let me put it back up here. Where we go? What? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. That's going to make me feel a lot better. And I'll move that. I'll just delete that. This is live. All the way live, as you see. Now let's go back to sharing the screen. Live. Here we go. And again, if you have questions or comments, feel free to place them in the chat box. And we'll get there. All right. Thanks for your patience. Too many screens open. It's not helping me with my ADHD. Please don't go to that one. Oh, I knew it was going to go that one. Okay, go. Where'd it go? Oh, no, I'm all the way back. Gracious. All right. Come on, Gordy. All right. I'm Brown. That's okay. So you'll probate, notify creditors. You're at, while you know 2 and 3, sort of same. Notify creditors, and you actually will take preliminary inventory at the opening. So as you notify, after you notify creditors, you'll address the debt and the taxes, do the accounting, distribute, and close the estate. So let's go over. So open up probate. When you actually once person has passed away, when you do when you've gone through the grieving process and you feel ready to open up probate, you will contact the court. Expect at least 2 months before you can get to a clerk in Durham County. So expect that. And there really is no limitation on when you can open probate. Once probate starts, there is a timeline of when it should be completed, or you'll need to file extensions until it's actually completed. But there have been people who, passed away 10 years ago, and then if someone finally opens up probate for whatever reason or not. But it is something you want to do sooner than later. But of course, the most important thing is to make sure you or your loved ones are processing this loss in the most healthy way. But you will open up probate. Now, know that when they open up probate, they will ask for a preliminary inventory. In other words, what assets, what bank accounts, what debt do we know now, or assets do we know, not debt, but what assets are we sure of now? You'll fill that out. If you don't know, no problem at all. There will be a filing fee to open up probate. I want to get those updated costs from Victoria, and so I should get the email later, but I believe it's $127 or $125 to open up probate, but I'll double check on those. But almost every step, every time you're filing, you're going to be paying, and we'll talk about that. The inventory, the initial inventory is just preliminary, but now it's time for you to really do a true inventory of all the assets, all the businesses owned, how much is it owned by? They own 1/10 of this property or 1/10 of this asset, and all that good stuff. And as far as debt's concerned, one way that you'll find out what debt is owed on the estate is you will go through a approved publication for Durham County. It's the Carolinian and the Herald Sun, and you will ask them to submit run a notice to creditors. It'll run for 4 weeks, 4 consecutive weeks, and then creditors have 90 days after the fourth week to contact you to say, hey, this person owes me money. So that's about 4 months total of time that people have to from the initial run to the end to reach out to you and contact you to let you know that there's debt on the estate. One thing to note, we'll step back here. Also, making inventory, you'll have 90 days to file inventory. If you need extensions because you're trying to hard to find or track down all the different assets, then you can file an extension. There's also some great software out there. I have access to some awesome tools that will help you keep this organized. It's sort of like a QuickBooks for estates. So definitely reach out to me if you need or want tools or support like that. You can notify friends and family and things of that nature to help let people know that the person's passed away. With your letters of administration or letters of testamentary, you'll have either one or both. You'll be able to present those to banks and to folks who where the estate, to assets that the estate owes or to accounts that the estate owes that belongs to the estate, so that you can have access to them. So your letters of testament if there's a will, or letters of administration if there's no will. And then you administer the estate. You actually start addressing the debt. I should put that. Yeah, that's sort of the same thing, but addressing the debt. Now, one thing about addressing the debt, there is a priority of claims. You can go back to our YouTube channel or look up priority of claims in North Carolina, or contact me and we can look through and see which ones, or I'll point you in the right direction. The priority of claims is so important because there may be sometimes the state doesn't have enough money. So you don't want to start just paying people off just because they're coming in with, legit claims. You don't want to pay them yet until you have all claims in after the notice of creditor's time has passed, so that you can know, okay, do we have enough money to pay off? Do we need to perhaps sell a car, sell the property in the estate, or what are we going to do? Another thing, spend the time to actually contact each claim or creditor and ask them if they will just forgive it, if they will remove it completely. Now, some situations they'll say no, but we'll reduce it to this. Some situations they'll completely write it off. In some situations, you're still left, or the estate's left with the debt, but you don't know until you get asked. All right, so definitely address that. There'll be time you need to file the taxes, any new income or anything that you'll have to file the taxes. If you take longer than a year, you'll have to file annual taxes until you do the final accounting. And so please note that. You also have to file annual accounting through probate, not just taxes, but annual accounting if the probate lasts longer than a year. You also distribute any assets to heirs and make sure that you get receipts from all heirs signed. If someone doesn't want something that is either dictated to them by the will or intestate laws, you can get them to sign a renunciation of that specific benefit, and they can be as specific and detailed as possible. And then after that, the estate should be at zero because all bills have been paid for, all assets have been out, and this person is now, or the estate's now gone. That person's estate is closed. You, as a person's representative, are no longer liable once it's closed and once you're signed out. I mean, unless there's something egregious that happened, and cases go back and litigation finds out that there was some type of a thing that took place. Obviously, but as far as you being responsible for anything else, your duties are done at that point. All right. So I'm a probate specialist, and I try to help you by making this as efficient as possible. Just as I was telling the person earlier today, a lot of the thing is that quite often this is your first time doing this, and sometimes you just need someone to say, yep, you're doing it the right way. So a lot of my support is really that, which I hope is helpful to folks, especially during a challenging time here. But to make it efficient, make it, okay, this is the steps you need to take. Let's make this happen. Just shine a little light and clarity on the spaces. I stay in my lanes, and I love providing referrals to the awesome estate attorneys out there. And so if you need support, even if it's not in North Carolina, if you're watching this just because you're interested in probate, I'm connected to a nation of vetted estate professionals. So definitely reach out. Hopefully reduce the cost of an attorney, because some of the information here, sometimes the attorney will charge and I think sometimes they don't even want to have to charge, but it's like, oh, I have to deal with this piece right here, and this is not. Well, let me step back. The more efficient you can handle the process on your own, obviously, it's going to reduce the cost of the attorney because they're not doing as needs to do as much. And what I was going earlier is that an attorney, quite often, there's administrative lag that they're not really excited about doing for the most part. So hopefully, our work is setting them up to serve you even better and reduce the cost as well, and reduce the stress on the attorney. And of course, we provide solutions to the property and the stuff. Professional home buyer, if you need equity to pay some of the debt in, or you want to unlock some of the equity to distribute to heirs, that's what we do here. If you want to keep it for yourself, or rent it out, or even list it for top dollar, whatever the solution is that you feel is best for you and the estate is what we're trying to help support and provide. So definitely would love for you to consider us. Check out us out at State Pro Service, our reviews. We're getting more and more as we go. And yeah, that's it. That's the process right there. And stop sharing. I'm gonna escape from here. And let's see, do we have any comments? Doesn't look like I have any comments this time. Oh, 15, 16 minutes. Usually I'm a little short. All right. Other than that, I will be back on here tomorrow with another topic, but every Wednesday, reviewing the probate process. Hopefully you'll see, well, hopefully you won't have to, you're only looking at this for a resource or a tool, because you'll notice that probate is, as I've heard someone say, it's like filing a civil lawsuit against your family and making, so in other words, there are ways that I hope that you can start thinking of avoiding probate. And it's not just for the extremely wealthy. Anyone who has asset and debts, there are instruments and tools that you can use to be able to avoid probate. If you'd like to talk about that, reach out and I can send some resources. All right, folks. It's Courtney Rollins. Let your light shine.